system in which there are sender, receiver, and both are connected to each other with one transmission media. And the basic data communication system block diagram refers that this transmission media is a wired media, right? And one message is transferred from sender to receiver. It may be a text file, it may be a voice message, or it can be a video message. And when there is a communication between these two devices, then there are a set of rules which have to be followed by both the devices, and those rules are called as a protocol, right? What is the protocol? The number of rules on which both the parties are agreed to for transmission of data. So whatever are the conditions that are on the conditions, both the devices are agreed, and those conditions, those rules and regulations are called as a protocol. And as per the conditions of the protocol, both devices will communicate with each other. And as we discussed in the last class, that data flow can be of three types: simplex, half duplex, and full duplex. In simplex, there is only data is transmitted only in one direction, right? As we can see in this figure, that data is transferred only from mainframe to monitor, and that is in the one direction. That's why it is called as simplex communication. In this, transmitter is always a transmitter and receiver is always a transmitter, receiver is always a receiver. In half duplex communication, direction of data transmission is in both the directions, right? But not simultaneously. So there are two stations which are connected to each other via one transmission media, and transmitter may be receiver and receiver may be transmitter, but not simultaneously. That type of data flow is called as a half duplex. And full duplex is data can be transferred in both the directions, and it can transferred all the time, right? That will be called as a full duplex communication. What is a network? Network is a connection between number of devices, right? Network is a set of devices, and these particular devices are also referred as node. They are connected media, and that is called as a link. So network is a set of devices or nodes which are connected to one another via communication links, and this node can be any computer, any printer, or any other peripheral devices which is capable to send or receive data by other nodes on the network. And the link can be an optical cable, it can be wireless, it can be fiber, or any medium which can transport the signal which contains the information. So basically, what is the network criteria, physical structure and category of networks? The first one is the network criteria. Network criteria depends upon the three parameters: performance, reliability, and the security of the network. Performance, reliability, and the security of the network. So performance of any network depends upon which type of network element is used in it. Suppose if we are using optical fiber, then obviously the data speed will be much high in comparison to the network which is connected, which is formed by the help of your twisted pair or coaxial cable. So what is the performance of a network? It depends upon the network element. That which type of processor is there, what is the transmission media which is used to connect the number of devices. Upon that, it will depend upon the speed which we will get. And the performance is also measured in terms of delay and throughput. What is delay? Delay is, suppose we have transmit our data at time t is equal to t0, and we receive that data at t is equal to t1. Then T1 minus T0 is the delay which is there due to the network. So that is called as a delay, right? When at what time data is transmitted, and after that at what time we will get the data, we receive the data. So that duration is called as a delay. And throughput is basically, suppose a network says that maximum speed which you can get is 1 Gbps. But it's not necessary that all the time you will get the speed of 1 Gbps, right? Because it depends upon that how many number of users are there, how many number of users are there which are transmitted their data through that medium. So it depends upon that parameter also. So throughput is basically what percentage of maximum capacity I have used at this time. This will be called as a throughput, right? Maybe I am using the 55% of the maximum capacity or 80% of the maximum capacity. So what percentage of the maximum capacity the user get at that particular time is called as a throughput, right? Then the reliability is what? What is the failure rate of network components, right? What is the failure rate of network components? Means if any of the network elements fail, then whole network will collapse or some of the network will collapse. It depends upon that what type of network is this. So what is the failure rate of network components? That how fast network components get failed, that will be called as your failure rate. So obviously the system which is more reliable having the less failure rate of network components. And the reliability is also measured in terms of availability of the network. Suppose I want to transmit my data, but but media is busy all the time. It is not idle. So we cannot transmit my data. So at the time of the network, depending upon this parameter, reliability parameter depends. And the security is that security is uh, how much amount of data get corrupt, or how much amount of data get lost, or how much amount of malicious users are there who can attack on my data or who can hack my data is the term of the security. So how much system is secure, it will depend upon that whether the cryptography technique is used in the network or not, and if used, that up to what extent it is secured by the hacker. So it depends upon the number of parameters actually. So which particular network is better, or what is the criteria for the selection of a particular network? It depends upon these three parameters: the performance, right? Performance, then reliability, how much this network is reliable, and what is the amount of security we will get if we use this particular network. So this is the network criteria for the selection of network for any application, right? Then the next thing is your physical structure, means how physically this network is connected, how physically these devices of the network are connected. This is called as the physical structure. So the first part is that is type of connection. As we discussed, that point to point means there is a single transmitter and receiver, and if number of recipients are there on a single transmission, then it will be called as a point to multi-point configuration. And the physical topology means how these devices are connected physically to one another, and whether this type of transmission is unicast, multicast, or broadcast. Unicast means the data is only for one user. Multicast means data is for number of users, and broadcast means data is for all the users which are present in the network. That will be called as a broadcast. So this is the figure of point to point and point to multi-point. As we can see, there is a link which is connected, which is used to connect these two stations, and the whole capacity of this link is used by only these two stations, right? So all the bandwidth which is associated with this channel is only used by these two stations. There is no other stations who is going to share this link So whenever this station want to transmit their data, it will transmit, right? So there is no wait time for the transmission of data. But the disadvantage is that when no station want to transmit the data at that time, this link will be, the link is not in use. So basically the whole capacity is not in use. And this point to multi-point configuration, as we can see, there is a mainframe computer and there is a main link in which there are number of stations are connected, and these number of stations will share this link. So the capacity and bandwidth is divided among a number of stations, and whenever one station wants to transmit its data, it has to check whether this link is busy or it is idle. If it star, bus, rake, and tree is also one topology, which is the part of that. So mesh, star, bus, and ring are the main topologies which are given. So we will move towards our first topology, which is mesh topology, right? It is called as mesh because there are number of connections are there. There are number of connections. Let it be, if there are 5 stations which are connected in mesh topology, so there are, we can find out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 number of links are there. This is called as mesh topology. So whenever this station wants to transmit its data to this one, suppose, then there is a fully dedicated link is there via which this station can transmit its data, right? So whenever any two station wants to communicate with one each other, whenever two stations wants to communicate with each other, there is a dedicated link for communication, right? So whole capacity, so all the capacity is reserved for data transmission between these two stations. So this is the advantage of this topology. Every station has a separate link for the connection connection to different devices. Let it be one of the link get failed or one of the this link get um, suppose this wire get cut, yeah? This wire get cut and there is no connection between these two stations, but no problem, network will be on, network will be on, only the communication between these two stations will not possible. So if any link uh, get break or if any link get corrupted, at that time there is no transmission of data between those two stations, rather than other network will work as it is, right? So this is the advantage. But what is the main disadvantage of this topology? There is uh, more number of links are there. If we are going to increase the number of stations, then number of links will also increases, right? So how many number of links will be there? It can be calculated via the formula n into n minus 1 divided by 2. N into n minus 1 divided by 2. Means, for example, I have 5 stations. So 5 into 4 divided by 2, that is 20 divided by 2 means 10. So there are total 10 number of links are there. You can check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, find out 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So how many number of links will be there? It will be n into n minus 1 by 2. So if we have 5 devices, then there is a need of 10 links in format topology. Let it be if you have 10 stations, then 10 into 9 divided by 2, yani 45 number of links will be required. So there is basically much uh, need of physical media is there. So obviously the cost will be high. Obviously the cost will be high, right? So basically what is mesh topology? Here every device has point-to-point link to every other device. Node must be connected with n minus 1 nodes. Every node will be connected with n minus 1 nodes. There should be connection between each and every node. And the fully connected mesh can have n into n minus 1 by 2 physical channels to link n number of devices. And every device must have n minus 1 IO ports so that it can be connected to n minus 1 number of devices, right? What is mesh topology? Is it clear? That here every device has point-to-point link to every other device. Here, and there are n into n minus 1 by 2 number of links are required, and every node is connected to n minus 1. As we can see, this is my station. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 number of IO ports are required so that 4 stations can be connected. So if our if our network gradually increases, then the requirement of IO ports will also gradually increases, right? So this is our mesh topology. What is the advantage of this mesh topology? Because we are using dedicated link, so each and every link can only carry its own data load, and the traffic problem is avoided. Traffic problem can be avoided. Every node, whenever want to transmit its data, it will transmit its data without any wastage of time, right? So this is the first advantage of our mesh topology, that because there are dedicated links and every link can carry its own data load, so there is no traffic problem at all. Whenever any station want to transmit their data, it has its dedicated link, it will just send its data on that particular link. It is robust. Robust means if any link gets damaged, it cannot affect others, right? It is robust. It gives you the total privacy and security because your message travels along a dedicated link. There is no other station who is going to use your link, so there is no problem of sharing, and because there is no problem of sharing, so no other user can corrupt your data. So your data is completely secure, right? And fault identification and fault isolation is easy. Why it is easy? Because if suppose two stations are not able to communicate with each other, then we can find out which particular link get failed or which particular station is not working. So fault identification and fault isolation is easy in mesh topology. What is the disadvantage? There is a large amount of cabling is required. Large amount of IO ports are required, right? And because every device has to connect to every other device, so there is bulk of wiring is required, and there is use of there is a sheer bulk of wiring which is larger than the available space, right? So hardware required to connect each device is highly expensive. So it is basically an expensive mesh topology in which there is a large amount of wiring is required. So it is costly as well as it is bulky because there are lots of number of wires are there, and let it be if network gradually increases, then the requirement of cabling and IO ports increases more rapidly in comparison to the growth of the network, right? So if you are going to increase, let it be, I have 5 number of stations, then the requirement of link is 10. And if we have 10 number of stations, then the requirement of link is 45. So I just double my number of stations and the number of links is multiplied by 4.5 times. So basically the amount of cabling is gradually increased much more in comparison to the gradually increase in the size of the network. So this is mesh topology. Where it is used? It is used in telephone regional office and in wide area network, right? These are the applications. When we read out about the wide area network, then we can find out why mesh topology is used in wide area network. But at that time, we have to remember that the mesh topology is used in the telephone regional office as well as in a wide area network. The next is your star topology. Is there any problem in mesh topology?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I will move on to the next topology, which is our star topology. Uh, Star topology, physically it looks like a star. That's why it is called as a star topology. There is a requirement of a special device to connect the number of stations in a star topology. And that special device is firstly called as a hub. Then the speed which we get with the help of hub is only up to the 10 Mbps. That's why hub is replaced by other device which is called as a switch. Then it is replaced by gateway. So it depending upon the speed and the number of transmission media, this special device is going to change. But in previously, firstly, the device which is used for a star topology, that is called as a hub. It is a collection of relay. There are number of relays are there. The use of that relays to connect to provide a connection between stations, right? What is the work of a relay? To provide a connection between number of stations, right? So suppose first station want to transmit its data to station number 3, then there is a series of relay which will connect station 1 to station 3. They will provide a connection between station 1 and station 3 so that data can be transferred through hub, right? Every time, whenever any station want to transmit its data, the data will be passed by the hub. It will go through the hub. There is no other way to communicate between the stations every time. And hub, it may be an active device, it may be a passive device, right? Hub can be active hub or passive hub. Passive hub, which is only provide you a series of relay which provide a connection between number of ports so that data can be transmitted. That's it. That will be called as a passive hub. Active hub has some active electronics in it, means it has some processor, some memory, so that if required, it can store the data in it, and then in future we can retrieve the data via hub. That will be done with the help of an active hub because it has a processor, it has a memory. So if data is in between, it has not reached up to the destination, then let it be, and at that time the link get failed, then what about the data? So what about the data? So if it is an active hub, then it will store it in it, it will store in it. So when a station will again join through this hub, then hub will provide the data to that station. But it is possible only in the case of active hub, right? In passive hub, it is only a series number of relays are there. And as per the requirement, 2 or 3 relays are connected together to form a connection between station, that is called as the star topology. So star topology means what? Here also each device has a dedicated point-to-point link to the central controller, and this central controller, which is used as act as an exchanger, is called as a hub. There is no direct traffic between devices, but there is a traffic in hub, right? There is no direct traffic between devices, and the transmission is occurred only through the central hub. Whenever any device want to send data to other device, it firstly send the data to the hub, and which then relay the data, relay transfer the data to the other connected device, right? So basically, how many number of stations can be connected via a single hub? It depends upon that how many number of ports are there in a hub, right? In market, there are number of hubs are available, number of switches are available, which have 8 port, 16 port, 32 port, 64 port, or etc. and so on. So there are number of hubs are there available in the market, in which, as we suppose we have selected a hub with 16 port, then 16 number of devices can be connected via one hub. 16 number of stations can be connected via one hub. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, if our data received at the port 1, then will it be copied to all the port? If data
So
is
no,
received
the
at port
data will be not copied to all the ports. Actually, hub provide a connection between number of relays are there, right? Or suppose first station want to transmit their data to station number 3, then the relay which is connected to station number 1 and relay which is connected to station number 3, they will connect to each other and form a connection between station 1 and station 3. So the media will be completed. Media, now the transmission media is what? That is the station to port 1, then port 1 to port 3, then port 3 to station. So it's only provide you a connection. Relay is normally open. So whenever the station want to transmit its data, the relays which are connected via station 1 and station 3 will not get closed. And there is a circuit formation, there is a circuit line formation, link formation between station number 1 and 3, right? So it will be directly go to the station number 3. The stations which are connected at port number 2 and 4 are not aware of that connection, and the data will be not copied to the port of the rest of the stations. Clear?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So like this, and how many number of stations we can connect it through via one hub? It will depend upon that what is the size of the hub. That how many number of ports are there in a hub. Minimum size is 8. So 8 number of stations can be connected, or 16 or 256 suppose, uh, as per the hub which we have taken. Let it be I have 8 port one hub, then I have one more 8 port hub, and I want to connect my 15 devices to form a network. Then can we do it? Yes, we can do it. We can use one hub as a station, to the previous hub, right? For example, this is one hub, right? We can see in this problem that there is one hub. There are 4 ports and 4 stations are connected to this hub. Let it be, if we remove one station, and connect one hub here, so we will get extra 3 ports to connect 3 more stations. Whenever there is a requirement for the extension of network, whenever there is a requirement for extension of network, then just we remove one station, and on that port we will connect one more hub, so that more number of devices can be connected. That will be called as the extended star. It is called as the extended star. And let it be, if we connect a hub at the each port, suppose this is my hub, there are 4 ports, and rather than to connect stations, I remove all the stations and connect 4 hubs there, right? 4 hubs there. So basically, then I can connect 4 is to 4, then is 16 number of stations to our network. 16 number of stations. This is the thing is called as the extended stack, in which one hub is connected via the previous hub in place of a station to increase the number of ports. So it's not necessary to let it be. I have 10 number of systems in my office, and I have taken one 16 port hub and connect 10 number of stations to that. Now I am going to extend number of systems in my office. I have bought 10 more systems. So what to do? Should I go for the new hub? No. You just buy one hub, but your previous one will also work out. You just remove one station, connect your new hub to that place, and extend your network via number of stations, which is called as a extended star. Extended star. The next one is what is the advantage of this topology? What is the advantage of this topology? This is less expensive than mesh. This is less expensive than mesh. Why? Why? Because number of links are less. Number of links are less. How many number of links are required in mesh topology? N into n minus 1 by 2. How many number of links are required in star topology? 4. If 4 stations are there, then 4 links are required. If 16 stations are there, then 16 links will be required. Means how many number of links are required? N. N. Right? Is equal to the number of stations. Number of links is equal to the number of stations. So obviously they will be less expensive because there is less use of the physical media. So it is less expensive than mesh since each device is connected only to hub, because each device is connected only to hub. Installation and the configuration is easy. Just take your station, connect it to the hub. It will connect it via the whole network. So this installation and configuration is easy. Less cabling is required in comparison to mesh. The system is robust, more robust. Why? If one link fails, only that link is affected. All other link remains active as similar to the mesh. Easy to fault identification and remove the parts. Suppose if link is failed, if relay is failed, then we can find out which particular link or relay is failed, and we can easily remove it. And no disruption to the network when connecting or removing device. If we want to add one device or if we want to remove one device from the network, then there will be no disruption in the network. Network will work as previous, right? We will just go and remove the device from the hub, right? Or if there is a free port, then we can connect easily one device to the network. And if ports are full, then no problem. Replace one station via one hub, make it extended star, and connect number of devices to your network without any disruption to the network. Right? What is the disadvantage? Disadvantage is whole network depends upon one point. Whole network depends upon one particular device, which is called as hub, which is called as switch in 10 Mbps. So whenever it goes down, the whole system is dead, right? This is the major disadvantage of star topology, that if hub fails, whole system will get failed. This is the disadvantage. And the second one is, even required cabling is less than mesh, but still it is more in comparison to other topologies. We will discuss it further. So what to do? If our network, if hub fails, then system get failed. उसके लिए भी एक मतलब for that also there is one provision, but we will go to that provision after the discussion of ring topology, right? So up till now we just remember, if the hub gets failed, the system will get failed. All the network will fail. It totally depends upon that hub. Where it is used. This is used in a local area network. Means in our lab of DSP, hub is used through which there are number of devices are connected to form a LAN, and high-speed LANs also used star topology because we can get high data rate via star topology. Clear? Is there any question regarding star topology? Any doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, in the hub there is a relays, and one relays transfer the data at a time one station, or it is transfer data at many stations at a time.
So it will transfer the data only to the one station, right? There are number of please mute yourself. There are number of relays are there. Okay? There are number of relays are there. Every port has its own relay, and all the relays are open. There is open circuit, right? There is an open circuit. All the relays are open. Means initially there is no data transmission between any ports. Whenever any station want to transmit its data, right? Suppose station 1 to station 3. At that time, the relay which is connected via station 1 and station 3, they will be closed. When they will get closed, they will make a path. They will make a way between station 1 port and station 2 port. So inside the hub, there is a connection setup. There is a connection setup between port 1 and port 3. So there is a path created between port 1 and port 3. So data will be transmitted via that path. And rest of the relays will still in open condition. So data cannot be passed through port number 2 or port number 4, right? So whenever किसी भी पोर्ट से किसी पोर्ट तक डेटा पहुंचाने के लिए अंदर उसमें एक पूरा पाथ होना चाहिए, और वो पाथ केवल स्टेशन 1 और 3 के बीच का पूरा होगा, क्योंकि उसके रिलेज हम क्लोज कर देंगे, क्लोज हो जाएंगे, और बाकी सारे रिलेज जो है वो ओपन रहेगा. तो देयर इज अ पाथ बिटवीन स्टेशन 1 एंड स्टेशन 3 ओनली, जिसकी वजह से वो बाकी सारे में पहुंचेगा ही नहीं. तो पोर्ट 2 और पोर्ट 4 का ये है तो ओपन होगा, ओपन होगा.
So ma'am, what happened when the station 1 wants to transmit the data to station 2 and station 3 at the same time? It is not possible in that.
It's not possible. It's not possible.
And
Not possible here to multicast the data.
there is another question, ma'am. You are elaborating the active hub and passive hub. In the passive hub, there is a memory and processor is.
No. In the passive hub, only relays are there. In the active hub, there are memory and processor also.
Okay, in the passive hub, there is only the memory is there. And ma'am, when the station 1 want to transmit the data to station 2, how the passive hub decide that the circuit which is the circuit which is open between the relay 1 and relay 2 is has to be closed? How it decide if there is not a processor in the hub?
Right. Suppose station 1 wants to transmit its data, right? Then there will be a active signal value at the port of station 1, right? At the port of active 1. Matlab station 1 whenever wants to transmit its data to station 3, if it is a passive hub, then it should be normally closed, right? Then relay should be normally closed at that time in the passive time. Normally closed means there will be set up in, if there is no processor, then there is no device which can decide where should the data should go. So in active hub, and there is a processor, it will check the destination address, and as per that it will connect the number of relays to form a circuit for the transmission of data. If it is a passive hub, then at that time all the circuits will be closed previously. The normally open condition in the case of active hub and normally closed conditions in the time of the passive hub. Right? Good.
Ma'am, in the passive hub, if the all the circuit is closed,
then data will be transferred to all the ports. Then data will be transferred to all the ports, and station will check whether the destination address is my address or not. Right? If it's address, then copy the data into it. If not, then it will pass on the data.
okay, thank you, ma'am.
So disadvantage से भूल गया था, कहाँ पे थे? So, what are the disadvantages of the star topology? That it is totally dependent on the network. When it goes down, the whole system is dead. Where we use application, that will be in local area network and high speed local area network, often used with star. Right. So, the next topology is our bus topology. Bus topology is, there is a bunch of string. There is a backbone of the system which is called as the cable, right? It is the backbone of the system which is called as the cable, and there is cable ends are connected at both the side of cable. Cable ends are connected at the both the sides of the cable, and there are number of taps, vampire taps are there, through which number of stations are connected, and that link is called here as a drop line, right? So the link, the wire which connects station to the cable through the tap is called as a tap drop line, and this main backbone of the system will called as a cable, and at both the sides there should be one cable and is connected. This is our bus topology. Whenever any station wants to transmit its data, the station puts its data on the backbone, on the cable, right? And every station will get that data, but a station which has the same destination address will copy the data. Other than that, will not show interest to that data, and data will be passed on to the other cable end, right? This cable end will be a load. A load is connected at the cable end. It may be resistive, capacitive, or inductive depending upon the characteristic of this particular cable. Means it should be equal to the characteristic impedance of the cable. Suppose we are using coaxial cable. At that time, the characteristic impedance of broadband coaxial cable is equal to 75 ohms. So 75 ohms resistor will be connected at both the ends, right? So what will be the cable end? It will be a particular value of load which is equal to the characteristic impedance of this cable, so that the signal which flows through this cable will be completely absorbed by the cable end. When the maximum power will be transferred to the load, when the load impedance is equal to the characteristic impedance, which is the maximum power transfer theorem. Via the same theorem, at both the sides, same value of load is connected, which is called as the cable end, right? Now, every time when a station wants to transmit its data, it will firstly check whether the bus is busy or idle. If it is busy, then it will not transmit its data. It will wait until the bus become idle. And once bus become idle, it will transmit its data. And every time data will go to every station, and the station will check whether this is my data or not. And how the station will check whether it is my data or not? By finding out what is the destination address is written on the data. Actually, whenever there is a transmission of data, there is a formation of a frame, which we will study in the next unit. There is a formation of the frame which having a definite structure in which there is source address, destination address, etc. So this is the requirement, because whenever you want to post a letter, there should be one recipient name and address as well as your name and address. So that will be the same case in data communication also. There should be recipient address as well as sender address, means source and destination address is written on the frame. So, and it will be transmitted before the transmission of data. Means every time firstly source address, then destination address, then data will be transmitted. So every station will check what is the destination address. If that destination address is equal to the physical address of that particular station, then only it will copy the data. Then only it will copy the data. Otherwise, no problem. Go pass it on. And at the end, the cable end will absorb all the signal. will absorb all the signals. So bus can become idle. So bus can become idle again. So bus can become idle again. Right? So what type of configuration is bus topology? It is a multi-point configuration. It is a point to multi-point configuration. Here one long cable acts as a backbone to link all the devices are connected to backbone by drop line and trap. Drop line is the connection between the device and the cable, and tap is the splitter. And this allow only one device to transmit at a time. What is the advantage of bus topology? It is ease of installation. Means whenever I want to connect one more station, I will go connect one tap and one station to my bus. Whenever I want to remove one station from my bus topology network, then I will remove the tap and remove my station from that. And then less cabling is required in comparison to mesh topology, right? And there is one backbone. There are number of drop lines. So backbone is only one. These are the advantages. What is disadvantage? It is difficult to reconfigure and reconfigure and fault isolation. So suppose if data transmission is not there, if there is a problem in the data transmission, then it is difficult to find out where the fault is there, right? Where the fault exists. And after that, if there is a problem in a backbone, then I have to change my whole backbone of the network, and we have to reconfigure our entire network system. So this is difficult. And whenever I want to add any new device, then it's easy to connect. It's easy to connect physically my device into the network, just to use one vampire tab and I can connect my device to the bus. But logically it is difficult to add new device, because whenever I add one new device here, then every station knows its precedence and next station address. In bus topology, every station knows about what is the address of left side station and what is the address of my right side station. So whenever I put one station in between, then I have to change the configuration of number of stations for first or means both the side addresses, right? Means suppose if we add one station there, one station here, so I have to configure my station as well as I have to configure these two stations. I have to update these two stations, that there is one more station, and now your next station is this one, not that one. So basically, to configure uh, uh, to add a new device is difficult, because we have to update the devices as well, more devices as well. Now, if signal get reflected, then there is a degradation in the quality, right? Let it be if this load impedance cable end is not equal to the characteristic impedance of backbone, or there is some mismatching in the cable end and the characteristic impedance of our backbone, then there will be the reflection of data will take place and it will degrade the quality of reception. So we have to be very careful about the cable end, right? So, and if there is any fault in the backbone, will stop all the transmission. What is application? That is mostly in motherboard of the computer, bus topology is used, right? And the next one is our ring topology, which we are going to discuss in the next class. So if there is any problem regarding bus topology, if you want to ask any question, then you can ask about anything, any topology or about anything which we have discussed in our class. And we will कोई चीज ऐसी जो आप पूछना चाहते हैं या नहीं समझ में आई है या कोई क्वेश्चन आपके दिमाग में है बस टोपोलॉजी से लेकर के या कुछ भी, या अभी नहीं है तो नेक्स्ट क्लास में भी आप पूछ सकते हैं. और आई विल पोस्ट दिस पीपीटी इन क्लासरूम, so you will read it again, and if there is any problem then we can discuss it in the next class. Okay, and we will discuss ring topology etc. in next